Hey guys, Campers 15 back at it with another video, joined by my Uncle Daryl for the first time this season on a Bears post-game recap show. And our Chicago Bears lose yet again. 14 straight losses now, this time to the lowly Denver Broncos. If I told you
At
you were
home. At home.
yes, at home in Chicago.
In Chicago, in front of our fans.
If I were to tell you we were up 28-7 with like 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and the Bears would single-handedly blow this game, single-handedly, you probably you probably actually would believe me. I don't care anymore. Whatever. This coaching staff gotta go. This was an indictment. The perfect picture was Ryan when the TV broadcast cut to Ryan Poles in the press box, and they were happy and everything with the way the offense and the team was looking like. And then after that, after I think it was either after Justin Fields fumbled the game away or something, some part when they were blowing the game, they cut back to that same press box. Poles looks absolutely stunned, and you had a guy sitting right there, just literally is like facepalm, and literally like really happened again. I keep saying it on these post game recap videos. I am always flabbergasted at how at just the incompetence of this team and how much they embarrass themselves even more than they did the previous week. You can't make this up. Honestly, I get more comedy watching this. So last week, we're just at the dismay of Taylor Swift basically freaking cheering on her new boyfriend and Travis Kelce, and we get routed by the freaking Chiefs. This game is actually looking really good. And then the moment they scored the touchdown, the Broncos scored the touchdown to go 28-14, that's when I knew they're going to blow this game somehow. They're going to blow this game. It was either the defense needed to get a stop or the offense needed to get at least a 3 points or a touchdown. But whatever.
Yep.
You ruin, just like last season in multiple games, you ruin a pretty solid. The turnovers obviously take from a phenomenal Justin Fields game down to a solid game. Those turnovers can't happen. Justin Fields, take the sack on the fumble. Just take the sack. It is what it is. The interception, well, I don't know if that's bad communication. It seems like from what Matt Ryan says, it was a badly thrown ball. You know, he should have thrown to the outside shoulder of Komet. Whatever. You wasted a good, solid Justin Fields passing game for once at the end of the day. There's going to be obviously questions. Should Matt Eberflus had kicked the field goal? Personally, I like the fact that you went to go for it. I don't like the fact that you put it in your running back's hand. You should have put it in your quarterback's hand because he's the best player you got on your team. And the reason why I defend going forward on fourth down is if you kick the field goal, your defense is terrible. Go for the win. Make it to where the Broncos have to score a touchdown and once they get the ball back. But it is what it is. We can talk the other details of this game, but I guess turning over to my uncle for his initial thoughts.
We were texting back and forth.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, you'll say I'm wrong. And, we don't have an issue disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
You have a set of plays that you run in the first half, and then you have a set of plays that you run in the second half. If the plays in the first half are successful, then that gives you something to go on as far as what to do in the second half. However, if that defense adjusts to what you were doing against those first 15 plays, then it's up to you to be able to counter. That's why coaching is so essential in the NFL. I can't begin to understand what happened with that second half. The most important person on an NFL football team is that head coach. Plain and simple. And here we go again. Matt Eberflus got out-coached. What Denver did in the first half, they totally adjusted defensively in the second. They went man up, bump and run coverage for the most part throughout the entire second half. Justin Fields turned the ball over twice. Interception, fumble. Fumble, holding the ball too long because the coverage was actually pretty good that Denver decided to employ. I mean, to me, it's just that simple. Matt Eberflus, again, failed this football team. People can see exactly how explosive this team can be. They saw just how explosive this team can be when they're running on all cylinders. However, a team that can adjust to what you're doing and then you be able to counter, that's a head coach. That's a head coach rule right there. And unfortunately, Matt Eberflus got he was with it. He was like a deer in the headlights. That's why they kept showing him. Deer in the headlights. He didn't know what to do. His defense, again, which he's calling the signals, failed again. Failed again. By the Denver head coach, he cussing everybody out on the sideline. He cussing out his defensive coordinator. He cussing out his special teams coach. He cussing everybody out. He coaching. He going to the offensive line when they got another penalty, which set them back and let them have it. Matt Eberflus just standing right there on the sideline talking to nobody. He just stuck with a deer in the headlights look. Again, another failed effort by the coaches. And it's just as simple. The players, I got to admit, I'm sorry. We can say whatever you want about the rush, the running game, the passing game, what have you. When the coaches cannot counter to what the defense adjusted, when they went bump and run man coverage, there was no adjustment about the Bears. None whatsoever. And you should have saw it coming, knowing what type of defense Denver was in the first half, which is basically cover two. The first touchdown by commit, that was a cover three. They were in zone for the most part the first half. They went strictly man in the second. And that interception, yeah, he must have thought they were in zone, which is the reason why he threw it to that area and not directly to commit.
Yep.
So again, it's just coaching, man. Coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching.
I don't see how this team's gonna. I don't see how this coaching staff's gonna survive this.
I can't see it either.
And
It's
the only
just so
reason,
much pressure. It's
Yeah.
so much pressure on the players to perform. And when they perform, the coaches do not put the players in a position to keep that stranglehold that you have on. And I mean, you're up 28-7. You should be able to hold that lead.
Yeah.
But did they start running the ball? No. They didn't. They put the ball in Justin Fields' hands, which was okay in the first half. But when they adjusted and they went bump and run man defense, they should have started running the football. Even with Fields,
Yeah.
you could have had some quarterback runs. But again, Eberflus and Getsy, man.
Yeah.
I dropped this right at their feet.
Yeah. You have to if you blow a 28-7 lead and you give up basically 28 unanswered points in one half.
Yep.
And especially two. Eberflus, reminder for everybody. Alan Williams ain't here with whatever stupid stuff he got involved in. Matt Eberflus is calling the defense. He's the one that when the Broncos went down the field to go get the 14 points to start their comeback, he was just sitting back in the zone coverage, basically the prevent defense, like, whatever, we're up. You know. Yeah, at that time, I couldn't really blame the offense because this is my stance. Offense, you did your job. All right, fine. 28 points, I'll take that. Should
28, but they could have got. I mean,
they could. Yes, I agree. They could.
They should have put that foot on their throat.
I believe they could have got more, but for a team that needs just a win right now, this team that needs a win, 28 points. All right, fine, whatever. You take it. Defense, just do your job, get stops. Offense, hey, if we run some clock, even if we have to punt it, we run some clock off the time, or we run some time off the clock, or if we get some scores, hey, we'll take that. Just be smart. Let's not have no turnovers, and let's not do anything stupid.
Well,
And
my
then
thing, when they went man, to me, that's the time to run the football. But instead, they do the same stuff they always did. Yeah, they pop Fields back in the pocket. They don't try to do anything to get him out like they did in the first half. If you notice, he was in the pocket a lot the second half. They didn't do the things in order to win football games. You do the things that same like let's just say in relationships. What you did to get the girl is what you got to do to keep the girl. Same thing here. Get Fields out in space. But no, in the second half, y'all want to prove that y'all smart. And y'all put Fields in the pocket. While he was on the run, he set a record for consecutive completions by a Chicago Bear.
basically,
Why they put him on the run? 16 of 17, 230 plus yards, and what? 3 touchdowns?
4, I believe.
In the first half.
Oh, yeah, 3.
I'm like, why couldn't you do that in the second half? They changed. They changed their whole offense. And then when Denver went man, they should have went back to that first 15 plays, getting Fields out in space. Call some people in motion. Just coaching, man. It just can't stress enough how much even people at this age, meaning Fields and the Bears offense, how desperate they need coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why Andy Reid is so good at what he does.
And to be
I mean,
honest,
granted, and then on
even
top of that, he doesn't have the best wide receiving core in the league. Some would say he has the worst wide receiving core in the league.
yeah.
But the one thing that Kansas City got that don't nobody seem to have in the league is Andy Reid.
Yep.
Here it is. Miami put up 70 on this defense. Go to Buffalo, give up 50. And to me, the major difference, coaching.
Well,
Coaching.
I would hope Matt Eberflus takes a page out of Mike Tomlin, because I guess Mike Tomlin asked after losing to the Texans today, he was literally asked, "Are there going to be changes?" And Mike Tomlin said, "Hell yeah, there's going to be changes."
Hell
But
yeah.
I highly doubt Matt Eberflus is going to go into his press conference. He's probably like, "Well, you see, we had some nice offensive drives this game and everything. It just didn't come together. We got to get some stops on defense, and this game's a different story." But whatever, I don't care.
Matt
And
Eberflus.
it's funny going to the coaching thing. Chase Claypool made the comment about coaching, and of course he gets benched for it. Now, obviously, it's a night. Obviously, you have to set the message and say you can't talk back or bad about your coaches openly to the media. So you're going to have to serve some punishment. And it's already apparently through sources. The Bears are going to try to trade Chase Claypool for at least to see if they can get a 5th or 6th round pick, because no team's going to be stupid like the Bears were to trade him for basically a 32nd round pick.
I bet you Kansas City could. I bet you Kansas City could. I bet you. I'm willing to bet you the first place I would call if I want to get rid of Claypool would be Kansas City. And I can guarantee you with that quarterback and that coach, he'll be a true number 1.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you can even call up Carolina and say, "Hey, do you want him to?"
No.
Just give us another pick.
I would call someone with an established quarterback. It's clear. And I know we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
But even just Andy Reid, Claypool couldn't have helped us out there today because of the gentlemen that we have on the sideline, the ones that are actually leading these guys every Sunday, trying to get them to do the right things in order to play a football game. Now, granted, I will tell you, I'm gonna say Poles made two errors, two major errors. One, obviously hiring Eberflus, and two, no edge rusher. No edge rusher. We need a speed rusher like nobody's business. Instead of just, all we do is bull rush.
And who's the D
Bull rush.
line coach? The D line coach can't coach these players up to do any different.
There's no speed rushing whatsoever. No speed rushing. And who was the speed rusher? Travis Gibson. And okay, make that three. Man, like you said before, you can't make this stuff up. This is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely atrocious. Am I shocked we lost this game? No. Not one.
I thought we would lose. The moment the Broncos went down and scored the first touchdown after we went 3-and-out, I was like, "Oh, we're probably gonna lose." Like, blow. Yeah. But then we started going. I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm gonna be able to post to my Instagram story all happy willy nilly." Yeah. Now my Instagram story has I hate this team. We're going 0-17.
They change coverages. They change packages that second half offensively and defensively. They change protection of Russell Wilson.
He got the ball out fast too.
They changed everything. He got the ball out quicker as well. And then when them DBs came up, he started looking down the field.
The run game also broke open. The one running back, I forgot his name. The one running back, he got some good yardages too, which also helped.
You talking about Piron?
No, the other one, the one after Javonte Williams.
Well, that's Piron. But I know, yeah, you got another cat.
There was another one. He was the one that broke up the big run up the sideline.
You're right.
But the run game for the Broncos also came alive too, because it wasn't really doing much of anything in that first half. But basically, the run game got alive in the second half, and the Bears couldn't really stop it. And it was just a collapse on the epic proportion.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, him. Yeah.
McLaughlin. Yeah.
He had some good runs.
He was huge for them in the second half.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing. It's just amazing that, and I don't care who you playing.
Yeah.
I don't care who you playing. If you got excellent coaching, it shows. If you don't, it shows. It shows. It completely shows. Because a really good coach can raise the level of the efficiency of the most average of players to make that player believe he is better than what he truly is. Case in point. Like Tom has been doing this a long time. He has not had the best football teams, but for whatever reason, he go 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8 with average football, average to below average football teams. I'm just like, man, McCaskey's, they got to do something, man, to stop.
Kevin Warren has to do something.
Well, you're right. And I'm glad the McCaskies hired Warren. Personally, I'm starting to think maybe they should have hired Warren first.
Yeah, they did everything. When you go back, they did everything ass backwards. They hired the they hired the GM, but they were interviewing coaching candidates first.
So they basically already had in mind a list of coaches and they wanted Poles to hire.
Yes, and this is the thing. Remember, Bill Polian was a part of that search. Who is he most synonymous for? The Colts.
The Colts.
Matt Eberflus come from. The Colts.
The Colts. Who did Allen Williams come from? The Colts.
And then, so, what we don't know behind the scenes, if the McCaskies kind of said, here, these are our top three, you interview them yourself, polls, and you see which one you like the most, whatever. And mind you, Jim Caldwell, I guess, was also in that, former Colts head coach too. And then obviously Ted Phillips retires finally, thank God. And then Kevin Warren. Again, we just have to hope a change gets made. Now, I don't think there's gonna be any firings because they're on a short week because they got to play and go to Washington on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't foresee any firings. Honestly, I don't foresee any firings.
I don't. Yeah,
Period.
I don't see any firings from this offseason
I
because
don't
that's
see
not
any
the Bears.
firings. Yeah, I was about to say I don't see anything to this offseason. It just does no good whatsoever to fire your coach during the season. It doesn't do any good.
Yeah. The only problem, see, and that's where the only problem lies. It's like you already have players, multiple players this year. Justin Fields did it, even though he walked it back. But if he openly said it to the media, you know how he feels about the play calling. Chase Claypool, he talked about, oh, the Bears are not using him to his best strengths or his best attributes. After this loss, I don't give a crap. None of these players are going to be listening to whatever Matt Eberflus or this staff has to say to these guys.
Correct.
You were riding high, and you're like, all right, maybe we're good. You know, the sideline was all happy and everything. And I was like, okay, we finally seen some smiles. And then you blew the game, and now everybody's all disappointing. And it's like, oh, and mind you, Matt Eberflus on Monday, last Monday, said, we're close. We're close. You sure about that?
And keep in mind, he ran the same defense from first to second half.
Yeah. There were some
Same
blitzes
defense.
there, but you know, obviously to Russell Wilson's play, he got the ball out fast before the blitz got there.
Correct.
So,
but see, in those blitzes, they're zooming it up.
Yeah.
So basically, in a nutshell, when they're in the zone and you blitz, just throw to the area from where the blitz is coming from. And that's what Russell Wilson was doing.
So
Russell is not a dumb quarterback by no stretch of the imagination. None.
You know,
I mean, he's been in the league, what, 12 years, 13 years?
Basically.
He's not a dumb quarterback. And he's been starting all of those years. He is not a stupid quarterback. He ain't Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to be really, really good defensively to be able to disguise your packages to fool a guy to the level of the intelligence that Russell Wilson has as a quarterback. Yeah. But no, I just don't think that Eberflus has just got the stones.
And now, hey, look at the first drive, for example. Look at the first drive, for example. It's 4th and 1 on your own, basically midfield. First drive. Brings on the punt team. And I'm just like, you have nothing else to lose. Go for it. Whatever.
Go for it.
I don't care.
I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You become 0-4?
No, he doesn't do it. But the second offensive drive, he does it.
He does it. But that wasn't his call. That was basically the fans' call.
And then, mind you, also too, Luke Getsy, he ran that stupid Cole Kmet tight end sneak.
It was effective in the first quarter. It was effective. It got through. I mean, thanks to Khalil Herbert and Justin Fields who pushed them through.
Still a bad call. You don't call that.
Yeah, it's still a bad call. You still keep the ball in the hands of your best player, which is Justin Fields, which is what they should have did in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Obviously, people are going to talk about the 4th down play. Should they have kicked the field goal? Should they have?
No.
I thought they should have went for it because your defense is getting carved up whatsoever. Make Denver have to go all the way down the field to score a touchdown instead of kick a field goal to take the game to overtime potentially. Because, hey, at least that was something different. Any previous Bears regime, especially like say Matt Nagy era, he would have kicked the field goal and took pity points and tried to hope that his defense got a stop.
Well, no. and even in this case, I mean, they didn't get the 4th down.
Yep. And that was a bad play. It was running
Khalil Herbert right up the middle.
Yep.
Was for me, I thought was a dumb play. And then the very next play after that, they are in a zone 3, look like another cover 2, and they catch Mims right up the sideline for a long 40-yard, 38, 40-yard pass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, they knew the Bears were going to be in zone. And then on top of that, they knew what type of zone. They just knew it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it's coaching, man. It's it is not overrated. You can't just throw players out there and say, well, hey, I got the best players. We're going to win. A well-coached team is going to be in every game.
Yep.
And Sean Payton, the dude can coach football. Who knew?
Yep. And that's the thing about a team that's got a lot of fairly young guys on the team. They have to figure out ways to win games. They haven't won a game within a year. Well, I always like to use the term when I coach, when it's the fourth quarter, that's the time to finish games. That's the time when you finish. It's like conditioning. You got a few last conditioning reps. Finish the reps up. This team just doesn't know how to finish. Obviously, that's coaching that plays a part in it, but at the end of the day, we also have to hold the players accountable. They got to execute when they need to execute. So, like Justin Fields, on that fumble, he can't have that fumble. Just take the sack. Just take the sack. It'll play the next down. And then the interception, it is whatever. Few penalties happen defensively. Okay, yes, we're in the zone, but sometimes there was some plays that were like wide open and like safeties. Come down, make a play. Like the touchdown that ended up making it a 28-21 game. Jaquan Brisker was right there. He could have blew that play up right then and there. Slant coming right across the middle of his face. Then it blows. He gets there too late. Doesn't blow that up. Touchdown right there. It's just all it's just a collective thing. The coaches obviously are at the forefront and they need to go. But at the end of the day, the players, even I say as a coach when I tell my players, like, yes, we may not call the best plays for you guys. At the end of the day, you guys have to go execute those said run plays at the highest ability. And when you execute them, we expect you to win your reps, your one-on-one battles. And the Bears didn't do that. They didn't win their one-on-one individual battles, whether it's defense and in some cases offensively too. I thought they ruined.
I mean, when you're in a zone, is there a one-on-one battle?
Not really.
No. You got to be in a man defense to sit up here and say, well, you know what? I got to win my one-on-one battle.
But you still got to know what responsibility you have in your zone.
That's true. That's true. You have to be able to know what your responsibility is, what area to cover, and then to be able to communicate. Like, for example, if you see someone coming across the middle and you want to jump the route, you have to be able to let that person on that's covering that prior area what to do so you can jump the route.
Yep. So
I mean, it's
just a mess. It's just a mess. This team, when you look at the schedule, the only winnable games I guess you could have left is maybe the dang Carolina Panthers, maybe the Raiders, but to be honest, I don't see how we win one game. They haven't proved that they can win a game.
Nope. And if you honestly think they're going to recover from this loss and go to Washington on Thursday,
who played a competitive game against Philadelphia today. Philadelphia ended up winning, I believe, but they played them competitive.
I think they're still tied 31 in overtime, I think. But if you honestly think that they are going to go to Washington and win that game,
yeah, they're still tied.
Yeah, and I think Philadelphia has the ball. Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Here it is. The Washington Commanders are giving another really good game to the NFC champions.
Yep.
A team that's expected to be in the Super Bowl again. And you expect this team with these coaches to go to Washington and then beat them? No, man, that's 0-5 right there. I'm gonna go ahead and predict that one right now. Yeah. 0-5.
You honestly, even when we do our week predictions, you can't pick the Bears to win a game until they actually win a game.
Correct. And then on top of even on that video, shoot, we might want to just go down their schedule just to simply say, okay, well, they might be able to win this one. They might be able to win this one.
Yeah, actually, let me pull up their schedule right now since this is just directly Bears. So next Thursday on Prime Video, if you have it, at the Commanders, that's going to be a loss. Vikings
They'll,
at
they'll
home.
they'll get 10 days for the Vikings at home. They can't cover Justin Jefferson. I don't care what anybody says. That's a loss.
At home against the Raiders.
Depends on who's quarterback. If Garoppolo's back,
Garoppolo should be back. They'll be like 3 weeks. Garoppolo should be back by then.
maybe.
But even then, they'd probably make freaking whoever the backup is look good too.
But honestly, yeah, I'll say that's a loss too.
Yeah. Then they have to go to play the Chargers. I'm even debating if I should go to that game. I'm probably not going to go to that game.
Balls. Justin Aver gonna put 50 on them.
Yeah. Then they have to play. Then they have to go to New Orleans to play the Saints. That's
the way the Saints offense has been, they can get the Saints. They can get the Saints. Oh,
in New Orleans?
Win. They're not gonna win. They're not. Don't get me wrong. They're not gonna win because that defense is just that good. Yeah. But the Saints offense is anemic.
And after that, they have another Thursday night game at home against the Panthers.
They can get that game too.
Then they got to go to Detroit.
Nope, hell no.
Then they have to go to Minnesota.
Nope, hell no.
Only to play Detroit back at home.
Nope, hell no.
Travel to Justin Fields' House of Horrors, Cleveland.
Against that defense, hell no.
Play Cardinals at home. They should have Kyler Murray at that point.
I don't know now. With the way Josh Dobbs playing, I don't know.
All right. Home against the Falcons, and then on the road against the Packers.
What are you thinking? 2-15? 1-16?
1-16. I already said they're going 0-17. They're losing every game now.
You gonna stick with that?
I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay.
Because this team, these players are gonna be mentally checked up. They ain't gonna listen to a damn word Matt Eberflus says. Yeah, this is worse than what even hell when Trustman literally lost the locker room and nobody listened to Trustman. This is worse than that.
Nope. And I thought Trustman was a decent offensive mind.
Yeah. If he was an offensive coordinator, fine. He just wasn't head coach material.
Nope.
But the Bears always find themselves to always outdo themselves. I don't know what that's gonna. I'm just upset because they wasted a solid Justin Fields game again, and you can't really blame. Yes, the turnovers are bad. The turnovers are bad. I'll say this: the turnovers are bad.
Those 2 turnovers, yeah, those 2 turnovers were huge. Because if he would have saw Cole commit, if he would have saw that was man defense instead of zone, then I think he would have threw it directly at Komet. But he thought Komet was going to go across the middle.
Yeah. But even then, like, he threw over 300 yards, outside the 2 turnovers. He played a solid game. And it's a game that, hey, we could have won at the end of the day. His defense, just like last year, let him down in terms of getting stops. And then obviously when it got dicey, he just went uncomposed, just lost, I wouldn't say lost that confidence, but got really out of sorts, and then it just went haywire. But well, I don't know. Now, if he continues to play, listen, even though he has the stupid turnovers that shouldn't happen, if he still continues to play solid football, we already know Luke Getsy's the problem, but that even just makes it, okay, maybe we can give him one more year, but we'll still draft a quarterback in the draft just as a backup scenario case. I still think the Bears should draft a quarterback after this upcoming draft, even if they have the top pick, because you still don't know about Justin or anything, but it is what it is at the end of the day. The Bears lose another game. It's depressing. It's stupid. I'm going to be very interested to see what Matt Eberflus has to say, but he's going to probably say a whole lot of nothing.
He'll sit up here and talk about accountability. He'll sit up here and talk about discipline. He'll sit up here and talk about these things as it relates to how the player should react and act.
Yep.
But at the same time, though, when he gets to that podium, I don't see him doing that of himself.
Yeah. If
I don't
the
see
moment he gets I should expect the moment he should say, listen, we lost that game. That game's on me.
that's on me. That's on me. There's a lot of things that I could have done and I could have done better. Know this. We're gonna be better next week. But he ain't gonna say that.
Yeah. Because
He's
he doesn't want to hurt other people's feelings.
Talking about this gradual evolution, like, you know, he is going to be there a long time. And I'm like, no, bro.
Hell, Lou Getzey this past Thursday said, we got something special cooking in here. I'm like,
yeah,
the hell you got something special? I ain't seen nothing special.
Special cooking. I don't see anything special cooking.
But is he talking about the flea flicker that almost literally got blown up?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So,
because it's clear that I just don't think that they want to run the kind of plays that befits Justin Fields, which means I don't think they think Justin Fields is their guy.
Oh, of course. They're going to try to, and this, even after the news with Chase Claypool, they also made Tyson Bagent the second string quarterback now.
Yeah.
Now, he should have been the second string quarterback anyways. I thought he won the backup job anyways. But yeah. I'm telling you.
I thought he came in number 2.
Yeah. No, he was like low. He was under Peterman at first, and then he rose up the ranks throughout the preseason.
Right, but I'm talking about the regular season. I thought.
Peterman was number 2. He was like that designated third string emergency quarterback new rule they got going on. Well, today is when they finally made Peterman inactive, because last week Bagent was inactive. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, if Justin Fields plays bad, then they're going to try to do what Matt Nagy did a few years back, bench Fields, saying it's not our problem, it's Fields' fault, and put in Bagent so they could try to save their butts and get another guaranteed year. But if I'm Ryan Poles, God willing, if freaking Kevin Warren doesn't fire him either, because again, we made a comment in one of these Bears videos about what the hell's going on. Kevin Warren can literally ask Ryan Poles, what's going on, dude?
Hold on, bro. You got some explaining to do, because this ain't cool.
Yeah. So,
but we'll see what's going on with the Commanders on Thursday.
I hope it's not as bad as it was last year, but I know it's going to be just as bad, if not worse, than last year's game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The Bears lose in kind of a similar way like they always would lose last year. Where they would have a lead, blow it, and then final drive, when it's put up or shut up, you go get the game-winning drive. They don't do it, but whatever. Bears lose 14 straight. I hope somebody asked him that, and Matt Eberflus was going to get pissed like he did last week when he got asked about.
He actually showed emotion.
Yeah, he got pretty testy about that. He's like, whatever. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe up there, and we'll be back for Commanders Bears. Peace. All right.